welcome to my video. Today I'm going to be setting up my Hobonichi Cousin for 2025. I'm super excited about this one. So this is my second year of using the Hobonichi Cousin. When I first got it for 2024, I did not do much of a setup because I got it right between Christmas and New Year's. I just sort of jumped into it. But this year I've had more of an opportunity to decide what works for me and what doesn't work for me based on trial and error. And I'm very excited to show you how I'll be using this journal for this year. Given that it's an investment, I definitely want to make the best possible use of it. If you've seen my videos from earlier, I have talked a lot about the likes and dislikes of the Hobonichi Cousin. But considering everything, I think for me the advantages outweighed the disadvantages, and I decided to buy this journal again for 2025. But I am supplementing the Cousin with the weeks as well. The Hobonichi weeks, as I described in my earlier videos, is going to be a catch-all or sort of a summary of my life. I'm going to be using it as more of a portable journal that tracks all of my day-to-day activities, medications, workouts, things like that, while the Cousin is going to be a very detailed and personal journal for me. This year I want to use the Cousin for a lot of content planning. I like to make notes about my speaking points for my YouTube channel. I also like to dump a lot of ideas in. I like to make drawings, things like that. And I think the Hobonichi Cousin, given the format that it's in, is very good for doing all of those things. So that's what my primary goal is going to be. And of course, I also want to use it for a lot of mindfulness related journaling. I love writing down all of my thoughts and feelings in very great detail. And given that the weeks is super small, I can't do that with the weeks, but I like that the daily gives me a lot more space to write things like that. Also record photos and all of my travel memories and things like that. So that's what I'm going to be using it for. So first I'd like to start with all the unwrapping and the unboxing, and also want to show you the cover that I got for my Hobonichi this year. Apparently the Cousin is super popular. Hobonichi in general is super popular for 2025, so it was actually very difficult to get a hold of a cover in time, but I'm so glad that I found something that I really liked. Presenting to you the cover. This is the cover for 2025. It's got berries on it, embroidered, and it's a fabric cover. It's super pretty, and it has all these different sections for putting my sticker sheets and any other important memos and notes and things like that. So I'm just going to unwrap this. The fabric feels super smooth and super nice. And it also comes with these really cute tassels, which I love. I'm just going to take the plastic off. Got some little this is a Mina Perhonen berries cover. And I have some information about the design over here and the brand itself. And this is a Hobonichi cover collaboration. And last year I also had a fabric cover, so I'm continuing the trend of having fabric covers for my Hobonichi this year. And this is the Cousin itself. It's quite thick, as you can see. Lots of detail in here. So let's start with the first page. So I want the first page of my Hobonichi to sort of tell my story. I want to add a few special moments of my life. I want to add my YouTube channel name here, and I also want to decorate it with lots of stickers and washi tape because I love color and I love colorful things, and I want my journal to reflect that. So I have printed out a couple of things that I want to add here. The first thing I have is this Polaroid of my cats, which I think is very, very cute. I have 2 cats, and I also had a similar picture for my Hobonichi weeks that I put in the front. So I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to be adding that to my journal here. And the second thing I have printed out is a self-portrait that I drew on Procreate. So I know that a lot of people like to add a picture of what they look like at the beginning of the year at the front page of their journal, and then what they look like at the end of the year at the back. So I'm sort of taking inspiration from that idea, but I more so want to observe how my art style is changing over the year, because one of my goals for 2025 is to practice my art and my illustration style. So this is a self-portrait that I made a couple of weeks ago, so basically end of 2024, and this is what my art style looks like as of the beginning of 2025, and then we'll see where I end up end of next year. So these are the 2 things that I want to add here. So I'm going to start by adding this thing first, and I'm going in with some glue tape because it's super convenient. I think this looks very cute already. So I just want to add my channel username at the top over here. I'm not so worried about the ink bleeding with this one because the page is quite thick. I've not started using the Tomo River pages yet, so I'm just going to be using my Micron pen to write things in it. Now it's time for my favorite part, which is to add lots and lots of color to this. So I do want to add this little sticker. So this is actually a Keiko Shibata sticker that I got from my Hobonichi Weeks. It's made by the same artist who made the cover for my Hobonichi Weeks, and it's so cute. I think it's a dog sleeping on a bed made out of bread. It's adorable, but I thought it would have crowded up my weeks a bit too much because that one is a much tinier journal. So I decided to save it for my cousin. So I'm just going to put it onto here. So I'm trying to keep the themes very similar between my Hobonichi Weeks and the cousin. So I'm going to be using some of the same stickers across both so that it looks very consistent. So I think that's really coming together. I think a few more tapes and stickers should do the trick. Okay, I think that's it. I don't want to add anything else to this page. It looks like a great introduction to my life. I really like the way it came together. I like that I've got my cats on there, I've got my tapes, my stickers and things like that. So this is what my first page looks like. So now we can jump into the other parts of the journal. So for this portion, I want to do exactly what I was doing for the weeks, where I just want to track my pay dates and I want to track my holidays and vacations and things like that. So I'm going to go in with my Mildliners to put some color coding in. This is great because it'll let me see at a glance when I'm getting paid and what my year looks like. Now, this section I'm very excited to talk about. So I'm not going to start writing anything in it yet, but I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm planning to write in it. And this section is great because I've got some space at the top for each month, and then it jumps into more of like these daily grids to write down anything else. So last year I tried to use this section as sort of a gratitude journaling section, where I kind of just wrote about one thing I was grateful for, or one word to show my gratefulness, things like that, like some positive words and things like that. But this year I'm planning to do something different. So one of my main goals this year is to sort of manage my content planning better along with my regular work life. So I want to use this page as a content planning calendar, or like a content calendar. So I'm going to be writing down when I decide to post videos, what videos I'm deciding to post, things like that. And at the bottom I can put any extra notes. And at the top here I want to write down goals for my channel. For example, there's these 3 boxes here, so I want to write down 3 goals for my YouTube, or 3 goals for my journaling that I want to achieve that month. For example, I want to hit 300 subscribers, or I want to hit a certain number of watch hours, or maybe I want to make a certain type of video, things like that. So that's what I'll be writing at the top. I'm going to write my goals, and for the rest of it, it's going to be sort of a calendar where I'm just going to write, for example, I post videos every Monday, so I'm going to write down what video I'm posting on Monday. It's going to be a schedule for me to look at. So I'm really trying to be consistent with my planning and filming and editing, because sometimes work can get busy, and when I don't make a set schedule for myself, my work life and my YouTube life overlap and things can get very difficult. I end up doing a lot of things last minute, which I do not want to do. So I'll be using this as a content calendar. But as I'm setting this up, I also want to leave little reminders to myself of what I'll be doing in 2025 with my journal. So I'm going to use these little Doraemon sticky notes to write down what I want to do with each section. So I can just stick these on here and take them off when I start using the page. So I've written content calendar on this one, and I'm going to put the sticky note. I'm going to put the sticky note right here as a reminder to myself. To add to it, I'm going to write content calendar plus channel goals. So when I open my journal in January, I can see what I plan to do with it. Flipping over to the next section. This is one of my favorite sections. So this is the monthly. And last year I sort of used it for writing down any appointments and things like that. But because I have the weekly this year, I want to do something different with this section. So this section, I want to use it for my art practice. So I just want to build a habit of drawing something every single day because I really want to improve my drawing skills. So I'm gonna call this section Doodle a Day, where I'm gonna doodle something into one of these squares every single day. So that's what I'm gonna do for the monthlies. So I'm gonna use a sticky just like I did for the other section to remind myself of what I'm going to do with this. I'm really excited to see how it turns out at the end of the year when I've drawn something in each one of these squares. I think it's gonna look really cool. I'm planning to make it more like a comic style, where I just draw like a little comic or something of what I've been doing each day or what I ate or things like that. So I'm very excited to see how that turns out. Moving on to the next section. This is a good old weekly section, and this one is going to be very simple. So if you have been following my channel, I have done a spread on how I use my Hobonichi weekly section, and I'm going to be continuing with the same thing. So this one I use it more to schedule my day. So my weeklies is more so what I'm going to do each day, and for my cousin I'm going to talk about how and when I'm going to do that task, or specifically when I'm going to be doing that task each day, because I have these slots for all the different hours. So I'm gonna just write down, like for example 9 to 10 I have this task to do, 10 to 11 I'm going to do this, 11 to 2 do this, 12 to 1 lunch break, things like that. So I'm just going to use this section to plan my schedule out for the day. I'm someone who likes to do a lot of planning and scheduling, because that's just how I function, or I get nothing done. So I'm very happy to have multiple tools and sections to schedule my day. So that's what I'll be doing. Okay, so I'm very excited about this section. It's turning the page to a new year. So I have seen people do similar things to what I'm going to do this year, and that is I just want to write down a note to myself for 2025. I just want to write down what my goals are for next year, words of encouragement for myself, where I see myself at the end of the year, just something to revisit when 2025 ends, and hopefully it is a year of growth and a year of success for me. So I'm just going to write down all of that on this page. I have a mini version of my self-portrait, so I'm just gonna paste that right here before I start filling this page out. Have filled out the turning the page to a new year page. I've written a note to myself about what I see myself doing in 2025, words of encouragement, things like that. I think it turned out great. My page is filled. So now I'm going to move on to the daily page section. So I love the daily journal so much. I usually put a few reminders or tasks up top. I sometimes use this as a little scheduler, but the other times I just write whatever I'm feeling in it. I paste a lot of pictures, receipts, random things I collect throughout the day. I've talked about many different ways to use your daily pages, and if you're curious to see how I've used these pages for 2024, please feel free to check out other videos on my channel. I'll be linking them right here so that you can go over to those quickly, pop in and see how I use it. One of my videos is also 5 different ways of using the Hobonichi daily pages, and those 5 ways are generally what I flip through when I'm using the daily spreads. I did fall off for a few months last year, so this year I'm going to try and be more consistent with using these daily pages and try to write something in it every day. I also use them to illustrate my food, and I also use them to do detailed content planning, to write like speaking notes, to write like detailed ideas for my videos, like how many parts I want to divide it in and things like that. So it's very helpful, and sometimes I even use it to like do learning. So I was learning French last year and I used my Hobonichi to just write down French vocabulary and practice my French. So there's so many ways that I've used my journal in. So with that, I'm gonna flip to the back of the Hobonichi. So we're on the last page, and I'm just going to write down a few personal details here, so in case it gets lost, it can be returned to me. So I think this part of the Hobonichi Cousin is really cool as well. Like, you can add all your important addresses and contact information, but then it also lets you record the gifts that you've received or given, which is very helpful. To be honest with you, I did not use this section in my 2024, but I'm going to try to use it in 2025 for its intended purpose. And then there's a 365 checkoff sheet. So in my weeks, I was going to use the 365 checkoff sheet as a tracker for the supplements that I take and my medication. So I was just going to color it in every single day that I take my medication to make sure that I'm taking it every single day. But for my cousin, since it's a different journal for a different purpose, I want to focus more on my journaling habit. So for this one, I want to be checking the days in for how many times I'm consistent with my journaling. So if I journal, and when I do my entries in the Hobonichi, at the end of the day, I'm going to come in and color these, and then at the end of the year, I can see how many days out of 365 I did some journaling in my Hobonichi Cousin. And I hope to hit at least over 300, but we'll see where we end up at the end of 2025. And then here I've got the words to remember. So this is a really cool section, and I just want to use this space to write down any positive affirmations, any little quotes that I really liked, and I want to be able to add in at least one a month. So I think I have 12 for the 12 months. So I just want to, I'm probably just going to put Jan, Feb, March. I'm going to put the month names here, and I'm going to try to fill in something for every month just to make sure that I'm consistent with it. And then I will flip over to the My 100. Similar to the weeks, I'm just going to write my top 100. I saw a creator make this into like their playlist, top 100 playlist sort of thing, where they add in like a few songs each month. Like, so at the end of the year, they have like their top 100 songs for the year. I thought that was a really cool idea. I think I'd like to make a list of maybe the top 100 movies that I've watched, because I'm really trying to get more into films. So I'll probably use this to add in the films I watch every month and what I like the most. I'm going to fill it up, and hopefully by the end of 2025, I'm a film bro, and I have a very solid list of 100 films that I can put on Letterboxd. And the favorites thing, also similar to the top 100, I'm just going to add in whatever movies, books, restaurants, music that I listened to that I really enjoyed. So I'm just going to add those favorites in there. And I think that's the last thing that I wanted to talk about for the 2025 setup. I don't really use the timetable as much because I kind of juggle multiple priorities and my day doesn't look the same every single day, but I'm gonna try to brainstorm if there's anything I can use it for this year. And if you guys have any ideas on using this timetable section in the Cousin, please let me know in the comments below. on how you're planning to use it. And I think that was it. That's all that I wanted to talk about today for the setup. I really hope that this gave you some ideas on how to use your cousin, and I hope you have a very productive 2025 and a very happy holiday season. The last thing that I added to my cousin was this little Mofusand charm. This one is super cute. I added its twin to my weekly, and I added this one to the cousin, and this one is tied to the tassels that came with the cover. So now I've got a little charm, so it's a bit personalized. This is what my first page looks like when you open the cousin, which I'm really happy about, and I think I'm off to a great start. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching.